everyone and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name's Emma and this is Beast Books and Beauty, and I do videos surrounding my many pets, my love of books and the occasional makeup look. So today's video is going to be the TBR for the month of June, which I'm partaking in the Whateverathon that's being hosted by Maddie over at Book Browsing Blog. So today I'm going to show you my TBR for the books that I hope to read as part of Whateverathon. So normally I would have quite a high book count each month, but this year I'm not exactly hitting my usual targets for some strange reason. I'm not sure, but I'm just going with the flow and not getting so stressed about it. But because obviously this is a readathon, I wanted to make it more of a challenge, and I have been managing to get up to sort of the 5-6 book mark in a month. So my aim for June is to read 8 books. So this would be the highest amount of books that I've read in a month this year if I manage to do it. And obviously I'm trying to hit all the points and, you know, bits I can get to. I don't think I'm going to hit all of them, but here's the books that I'm going to read to try and get as many points as I can as part of this sort of scoring system. I'm going to be on Team Dreamers and Drama Queens? Can't even remember. But this is the one that the team captains are Maddie herself and also Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction, which I adore both their channels. So yeah, here's the rundown of the books that I hope to get through in June to get some points for my team. I'm a bit nerdy and I made a little spreadsheet for myself so I could calculate what I'm gonna hit points wise. Maddie has actually made a spreadsheet since I made my own, but I'll just carry on with my own. I won't go into what points I want to hit for each book, because if you're not doing Whateverathon, you might not be interested in that kind of thing. It might end up making the video quite confusing, but here's the books. If there is rumbling in the background of this video, my puppy is chewing a bone, and it's potentially quite an annoying noise that's going to go through this entire video, but I'd rather he chewed the bone than came over to join me, so let's just hope that's not too annoying. Right, so book number 1 on my book trolley is Cersei by Madeline Miller. So this book has been on my radar for ages. So this follows Cersei, who's been banished to an island to live in solitude by Zeus for casting a spell, I think. So I'm really keen to read this book. Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction adores this book, rates it really highly, and I can't wait to give it a go. It is also beautiful and stunning, so it'd be good to get through some of my hardbacks that I've been kind of building up. So that is book number 1 for Whateverathon. Book number 2 also comes off my little trolley here, is Crier's War by Nina Varela. This is obviously a fantasy novel, and in this one we have humans and we also have the Automi, which are, I think they're like, I don't know if they're like robots, cyborgy type thing. They're created anyway. They have usurped the humans and are now the ones in power. And we have 2 women, and it's going to be their romance. And one is an automate called Lady Crier, and the other is a human called Isla, I believe. And basically Isla wants to bring down the automate by murdering Lady Crier, and they end up falling in love, I believe. So this one I saw mentioned on Jean's channel from Jean's Book of Thoughts, and she really enjoyed this. The blurb on the back says, an impossible love between 2 girls, 1 human, 1 maid, a love that could birth a revolution. So yeah, this one sounds great, and it is book number 2 on my Whateverathon TBR. The next book is not one that I have physically, I have on my Kindle, so I'll pop a little picture up here, and that is Radiance by Grace Draven. So this is another fantasy romance novel. I believe one character is human and one is of an alien race. I want to say the Kai, that could be wrong, but there is an arranged marriage between these 2 people, and it's just basically, I think it's kind of like their romance growing because they don't like initially like each other or find each other like attractive or anything like that. So it's their kind of romance like developing over time and things like that. Again, another recommendation from Jean, from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. She says that this is a really healthy romance, which doesn't always happen in romance or in fantasy books. So it'd be really interesting to give this one a go, and it's been on my radar for at least a year. So it'd be really good to get to that one. The next book is going back to the hardback shelf, and this one is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. So I am really excited to get to this book because I've heard nothing but good things about everyone who's read this book so far. So the main character in this book is a trans character, and he wants to prove to his family that he has what it takes to be a brujo, but they're very sort of strict on their gender roles and things like that, so they're not really kind of as open-minded of giving him a chance to show what he can do. So he decides to go and resurrect a ghost and I think he resurrects the wrong one and then can't get rid of him. So that sounds hilarious, and I think there's a bit of a romance between him and the ghost as well. So that should be a really interesting read. So I cannot wait to finally tackle this one. I'm using this to tackle a lot of the books that have been hanging around in my trolley or hanging around on my Kindle, but this one I'm so excited to get to. So June will be the month. And next we go to another book that's on my Kindle, so I'll pop another photo here, and this is the Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Wismer. So Katie Wismer has her own channel. I think she's got one called Katie Wismer and the other one called Kate's Book Date. She is a writer and an editor and a YouTuber, and she's very, very cool, so I love watching her channel. This is one of her own books. It's part of the Pact. It's like a 2-book thing. It's not a series, but they're like companion novels. So this is the first one, and she released this one last year, and I still haven't got around to reading it, although I bought it pretty much straight away. And she's got the next one out. It came out in March, which is the Anti-Relationship Year, which I will obviously hope to get to once I've read this one, and I'm sure I will enjoy it. So the Anti-Virginity Pact follows Meredith, who's a preacher's daughter, and she is an atheist, and she is also making a pact to lose her virginity by the end of the year. And a mean girl gets a hold of this information and is spreading it around the school. So she's getting, I think she's getting like bullied, being called a slut, things like that. And it's obviously causing problems with her family and other kind of budding friendships, relationships. And she's kind of got to decide what she is wanting to do. Does she want to repair her reputation or stand up for what she believes in or please her parents? And this one just sounds like a really good time. It's something really interesting. I really kind of like the sound of it. So I can't wait to get to this one and obviously show more some support for Katie Wismer. Obviously I've bought this book and will buy the next one, so I've already done that. But I want to read it and brag about it because I'm sure I'm going to love it. So the next book that I really want to read is Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire. Is that her name? Shannon Maguire? And this is the Wayward Children series. So this is a beloved series on YouTube. Everyone talks about it. I want to know what all the fuss is about. I also want to have a shorter book on this TBR so I can actually get through and get some points in. So this one is, I think the general idea is children that have kind of gone into other worlds, like gone into like Narnia or other worlds, kind of like that, and then they come back and they've got to kind of like settle into life back, you know, not in their world. I think some of them want to get back. So I'm really curious. This book gets a lot of praise. This series generally gets a lot of praise, and I'm very keen to see what all the fuss is about. So that will be on my TBR as well. This is the end now. So one of the other ones I really want to read, because again, another YouTube favourite, is the Brown Sisters books by Talia Hibbert. This is a series that is very beloved on YouTube, and it starts with Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I can't wait to read this one. It's about a girl called Chloe who's got, I think, chronic pain, and she's got a list of things she wants to do and get a life, basically, and I think it's meant to be really funny and a sweet romance, and I really want to read this series, but it's just I've never got around to it. I don't even own it yet, so I'm going to need to buy it. I think I'll probably get a paperback version of it because I kind of want the pretty colours of the books on my shelves. There we go. So that is the next one that I hope to read. And the last book that I hope to read is another one that's on my Kindle, and this is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I think this book needs no introduction at this point. It's just another one of those books that I've seen around and I want to read, and that's what I'm doing with Whateverathon. I'm trying to get through these books that everyone else raves about and haven't had a go at reading them yet. So Legendborn follows Bree, who her mother's died in an accident. She ends up going to a residential school and gets mixed up on like an attack on the school grounds, I believe, or she witnesses an attack, something like that. And it turns out there's this group of students, and they're kind of like, it's like an Arthurian legend retelling type thing. There's a secret society of Legendborn students that hunt these creatures down, and she kind of gets all wrapped up in this and discovers her own magic and things like that. And it sounds amazing. It is raved about, and I can't wait to read it. That was a super speedy roundup of all the books that I hope to get to in the month of June as part of Whateverathon, and I am super, super excited. I'm getting ready to get stuck in with all the books, and I can't wait for it to be all June already. But that is the books that I hope to get to. If you're partaking in this read along, please let me know down below what you plan on reading, or if there's anything else you want to read in June, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!